What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in the Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, my Delray Custom for the Discord competition. This is the gasser build or a drag build. It is looking pretty insane. We've got massive wheels at the back and it is slammed almost all the way down. This doesn't rub or scrape or anything. It is pretty good. At the front, we are lifted right up, jacked off the floor. Tiny little wheels on the front with the suspension fully showing through it and a bit of that engine as well if you're paying close enough attention. At the front here, we've got lots of cooling options. We've got two big radiators at the front to keep this massive engine nice and cool, along with two large intercoolers down at the bottom to help with the cooling, along with a giant coolant reservoir as well. This engine is pretty insane. Let's jump in and have a look at some of the stats about this one. 347,000 kilometers on this one, pretty far. Not the best condition, but definitely not the worst. We did get it from the auction house where we did get a little bit ripped off, but hopefully we'll be able to make that one back. I bought it for 39,962 and could only sell it for 33,774, leaving us 6,188 off of profit straight away. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will get that back later. Not that we're going to sell this one, though. We just want to know if it's worth more than we put into it. As for the engine, it is the V8 2-carb overhead valve supercharged engine. It is beefed up already without any performance parts. 850 horsepower is the starting horsepower on this engine. It is insane. That's why we need all of the cooling we've got going on here. And to the interior, we've only got the one racing seat in there just to keep me comfortable while I'm dragging this down, up and down the drag strip. When it's finally released, that is. But this is looking pretty cool. It is for my Discord competition. Well, my Discord is my entry to the Discord competition. We all know the winners go on this board here once they are done. We've seen that before. Now, you do still have time if you want to enter. This ends today, or the entry closes today, Wednesday. It is ending today, midnight tonight UK time. This video comes out 6 p.m. UK time, so you do still have a couple of hours if you want to get one in. Get on in there, though. A link is in the description. Give a vote for whoever your favourite is to build. Mine will obviously be in there, along with some other awesome-looking builds. So get on, get and vote. See who is going to be the winner of this one. But let's get this one started off. Let's get it over to the car wash and get it cleaned up. Here we are then at the car wash. Let's get her cleaned. Oh, bit jumpy there. Let's get her cleaned and see what we've got going on underneath this dust and grime. What colour are we? That is a black. It definitely isn't staying black. I do have a livery already made to go onto this one, which I'm hoping you guys will all enjoy. It looks pretty insane. A bit wild, a bit over the top again. But anyway, let's get this back on the lift and let's get that Supercharged V8 ripped out of there and get that engine bay and the suspension all stripped down. She's all nice and level up in the air, but let's check for that oil pan. It is there, so we know we need to get that drained. Let's crack on with that. Out you come, drain you go. Very dirty. That is black. Not a lot of it either. Let's get you put away and let's get this gearbox and drive shaft ripped out of here. Starting obviously with the drive shaft. Out you come. Nice and easy. I can see the starter is already in there. Looking good. So we know we need to rip that one out as long with the gearbox. Along with the gearbox. There we go. Out with the starter then. Out you come. And then out with this gearbox. Let's get you out of here. Nicely done. And no exhaust section in there, so that's good. Let's get it back on the ground and get that engine ripped out. And then we'll check out what's going on in the engine bay. I have made a few changes to it, so we will talk a little bit about that. Out you come. Let's get you put away. Over you go. And let's have a look what we've got going in here then. So it is a few bits changed. Obviously, the double radiator and the double large intercooler there. We got the large coolant reservoir, which this one doesn't come with. I have plonked that one in just for some extra cooling. Moved the fuse box up to the back and the battery from the back down to the front there. And I've just tucked these ones in just a little bit more to make them a little bit tidier. Looking pretty sweet. We do have our full fuel tank and fuel pump down the back. So we'll just get our fuel pump out while we are here. Back up to the front if I can get there. There we go. And we need to get some of these reservoirs drained. So onto the drainage tool, additional tools. Drain tool, click and hold. I'll be back in a moment. There we go. That's all the liquids drained. Let's just start ripping some of this out. Out you come, and out you come as well. And nice and easy. Off with the two radiators, out with the battery. A very quick engine bay strip down. We get this fuse cover off. We'll check it out. There is a lot of fuses in there, actually. We'll have to come and make sure we get all of them bought later, because you can't repair these. But let's get on. Let's check what we've got going on with the suspension. Now, all the wheels are on. which instantly says to me these are complete or as near as can be. So we've got the inner and outer tie rods, we've got the sway bar end link, we've got the brake calipers, we've got the hubs and the bearings, or the hub bearings and the caps. That's all looking complete. The single lower arm with a straight up shock on the front here. Sway bar end link, inner and outer tie rod, brake caliper, hubcap, bearing, all there. Let's jump down the back and see what we've got going on down here. I am going to take this wheel off because it is absolutely massive. Out you come. We do have disc brakes at the back. Obviously, I made sure they were there. Again, we've got both the U-bolts, the plate, the bracket, the bushing, the whole shock setup, the actual shocks themselves, and the calipers. It is all looking complete. That is definitely what we like to see. So I'm going to get on and get the rest of this fuse box all stripped. We'll take a look at the engine, see if we've got anything missing, but I'm not going to be stripping them down. For the time being, we're going to see how it goes. I am quite liking it. So I'll get all that done. We'll go check it out, and then we'll move on to the body. So I'll see you in just a minute. That's everything stripped off of the little gasser, looking pretty cool. Let's go and check out that supercharged engine, throwing the battery on charge on the way. I'm not going to strip this down, as I said. I'm just going to see what's missing, and it looks like absolutely nothing, which is a fantastic start. Obviously, we got the scoops, which means we got the carburetors and the filters under there. The supercharger manifold, all the clips, both clips on there. Ooh, can't see the back clip, but that could just be because... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Where? I cannot see that back clip. Oh. Ah, there it is. Can I? Yeah, there it is. It is in there. So this engine is very, very complete. Not a lot to strip. Oh, a lot to strip, but not a lot that we need to repair off that one. So I'm going to crack on with that. Get this one stripped down. Get all my bits repaired. Ready to go back on this. But next up, we'll be stripping this body down. Putting it back together in its final form before we head over to the paint shop. And you get to see the beautiful livery that I have created for it today. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded. Let's get on and strip this bodywork down. Let's just get all of this off of here. I think we've all seen a Delray Custom before, but let's just go around and get all of these parts off and get it back together with what it is finally going to be at the end. Out you come. There isn't really a lot. I think I've got most of it. Let's just grab this interior out. I was expecting a little bit more, but there we go. Out you come. Is that actually everything? On screen, 1%. That is everything. So we have got everything out of there nice and easy. Now, obviously, I spent a lot of money on this car. Almost 40,000. The frame's about halfway, so I'm going to say 1,800. 1,400. Not too far off, but still quite a way off. Still not got it. Let's just go into the shop for this. We've all seen it before, the Delray Custom, if my game wants to load. There we go. All the basics in the shop you've got there. We obviously aren't going to be using all of them. We're going to be going to the body tuning shop, because we are going to be using the hood C. We've already got the odd bumpers on there. One of the odd headlights, obviously the odd tail lights as well. That is what we're going to be going for. There's a lot to do on this one. And now the frame is all sorted. Let's get it all back together so we can go over to the paint shop and see what I've done with the livery for this one today. I'm really excited. But first, let's get this one all back together. Right then, let's get all of this one back together. So we'll just start at the front here. Obviously, hood C, on you go with the big cutout for our supercharger to stick through. Front and left fenders, front and left, right and left fenders, I meant to say. On with the front bumper B, so it can be coloured there, looking pretty sweet. And then obviously the LED headlights, because, well, we wanted it to be a bit modern. On with the windscreen, in with the doors. You can't change these, so they are just what they are. We can't forget the mirrors, though. On you go. On you go. Round the back, in with the rear window. On with the trunk there. On with this lovely rear bumper. And then in with the rear tail lights. I went for the C's just because they look pretty sweet and we went for them. Sort of the updated look that we were going for. Didn't mean to press that. In with the body window. On you go. In with the door and the door window and the mirror. And that should be all of the bodywork complete. We just need to get in there and get our seat and our steering wheel in. Obviously, I kept the same seat. And for the steering wheel, I went for the steering wheel 7. I think it's got quite a bit of a drag gassery sort of feel to it. So that is what we went for. On we go. That should be all of it. Now, I have named this car. This car is named Delilah. She is fantastic. So that's what she gets on her plates. Looking awesome. I think this is it. We'll just get these on and we will double check. We've got everything beautiful named Delilah. I'm loving this car. I think it looks absolutely insane. Obviously, right now, it doesn't look any different because it's up on here. You can't see where the wheels sit. But when it is back on the ground, it looks incredible. Let's just check we got everything 100%, 100%, and 100%. Absolutely fantastic. Let's get this one over to the paint shop. I cannot wait to show you the livery. Here she is then, all finished. This is Delilah. Welcome to my Gasser build. Pink, white, and black. Absolutely loving this. The number 13, it is unlucky for some, but not for me. Hey there, Delilah, down the side, just for a bit of fun. Matching on the other side, obviously facing the other way. These I will come back to in just a minute. The number 13 on the door, as we've already seen, with a bit of shadowing, opposing colours, looking pretty sweet. Inside, I've done the dashboard in black. You can't really see it. Let's go a bit further to the back. The dashboard in black, the firewall in black, and the radio in pink there. Looking pretty sweet with a lot of other white bits in the interior. I am quite liking this design. It looks incredible. Very happy with that. Let's crack on and move down the back. Obviously, down the back, we've got the number 13 repositioned again. And then Delilah written on the back on the car there. Looking pretty sweet. Few little hidden bits just for funsies. We open this up. We've got my logo inside with the internal of the engine in that beautiful pink and the surround in the black underneath, just for good measure. Looking pretty sweet. And then down at the back here in the trunk, we've got the same pink effect, but with no junk in this trunk. As you can see, no suspension parts sticking up through or anything like that. That was the implementation for that one. Looking awesome. What do you guys think? I think it looks absolutely incredible. Obviously, the blower sticking out the top there is going to be in that matte hot pink, looking sweet. The rest of the engine is going to be pink and black because we have a white engine bay with a few splashes of white maybe here and there. And as for the suspension, well, we're just going to go absolutely mad with it. I don't know whether to do the cross section in white or in pink. I'm thinking white, so it goes white, pink, white. And then for the shocks, I don't know. Maybe pink for the actual uprights and white for the springs. Again, not 100% sure. We need to get round to actually building all of this and playing around with all the rear end. But I think it looks absolutely awesome. I'm so pleased with how this has come out. Let's get it back on the lift. I've got to paint a lot of engine parts and a lot of suspension parts. So I'll see you back out there in just a few minutes when we get that suspension all rebuilt. Oh, and just before we move on, though, these are cutouts for my exhaust. Let's see if I can actually sort of get this exhaust in and show you where it's... Oh, you can't because it's under the car. I will show you in a minute before we do the suspension, but the exhaust do pop out there, so I've done that as a little cutout for where the exhaust comes out through. It does come out just inside the wheel well, as you can see there, and then pokes on up out the side. Looking awesome. But yes, back to it. Back to painting some things, and I'll see you in a minute. I've got everything painted, ready to go back on Delilah, looking fantastic. Let's get these shocks back together. Now, I've gone for a matte white on the shock and then a matte pink on the spring there. Looking pretty good, a bit opposite to what I said I was going to do, but it looks pretty awesome. And before we jump in and get all this suspension together, let's just take a look at the exhaust coming out through here. Let's get the whole exhaust section on both sides, and we'll have a proper look at it before we jump in and get all of this suspension back together. So I said they were cutouts, as you can see there. I think that looks pretty good. It comes up through. Sadly, these inner pieces of the exhaust, they don't have performance parts for them yet, so we can't tune that one, as it were, but we do have the performance tips on there. Looking incredible, coming out on both sides, looking absolutely fantastic. Very pleased with them. You know I like to do something crazy with the exhaust. But anyway, let's jump in and let's start getting this back together. Let's throw these intercoolers back in. Do I still have 3? I repaired one by accident, obviously. Never mind. Front suspension cross member in white. So it goes white, pink, white, quite like that. Let's get some of these bushings on. On you go, and on you go. Then we've got the lower suspension arm. I have done that one in the pink, looking pretty good. Now, that is a solid pink, and that is also a solid white instead of a matte colour, just to make it look better. On with the shock then, that is a matte white and a matte pink on there. I think that looks pretty awesome. I'm very pleased with that. Let's get the end link on just so don't forget it, because I know what I'm like. I will forget that and then wonder why the car won't start. Anyway, brake calipers sadly could not get the pink on them at all. Please, can we add them Bentley brakes into the game? I would love to be able to work with them, even if they're not performance parts, even if they're just an option so that they can be painted better. But anyway, on with this black. It doesn't matter too much. We do have a bit of black on this build anyway. And then the hubcaps in pink because they really don't matter, because they're going to be covered up anyway. But I think that looks pretty awesome. A white, pink, white, pink, white, pink, black, whatever you want to go with. Looking pretty sweet. Let's move down the back. Can I get there? I can if I use that. So the rear drive axle, I have done that one in pink. It is a solid pink, not a matte pink, but it looks pretty sweet. Quite pleased with that. Let's get some further on. So the spring cap is in a solid white because, well, why not? It looks awesome. And then the spring, again, in a matte pink on top of there, looking pretty incredible. The shock absorber back here, that is in a matte white because it does give that nice sort of satin effect finish on there. Looking pretty sweet. And then the arms themselves are in a solid pink. I think this back end looks pretty good, actually. Very pleased with that. Leaf spring paint, I've done that one in the white along with the U-bolts in the white. Also, they're in a solid white because it works better on the metal parts. And that is looking incredible in pink and white. Let's get the rest of this back end all up together, or at least one side of it all up together. On you go, in with the drive axle, on you go, nice. Brake disc, brake pad, and then the black caliper just on the top. It's a shame we couldn't get them in pink, they would have looked pretty awesome. But it does add a little bit of black to our back end. We've got a little bit of black on the front end, a little bit of black on the back end. Let's just get this big wheel fuel tank in, on you go, and then in with the fuel pump so we don't forget it. I'm going to crack on and get the rest of this all built up. Then we'll get the engine bay back together before we go and build that beautiful engine with some lovely, lovely colours on it. I'll see you at top in just a minute. There we go then, the suspension and exhaust in, looking incredible in that black, white and a pink combination. Very pink at the back with just a few splashes of white to take your eyes away, with a black brake caliper on there. Looking pretty incredible. I think it looks great. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments below. I do love to hear from you guys. But let's get on and let's get this engine bay all back together. The wishy-washy reservoir, the power steering reservoir, and both of them big old radiators get you in there. Brake servo, on you go. Ignition coil, in you go. And the coolant reservoir, the big one, in there, on you go. 2 bits left to go. I did manage to pick up my battery. I've got a brain. It does work occasionally. And then the fuse box. Now, this engine bay is incredibly white, so I've done the fuse box in pink there. Looking absolutely great. Very pleased with that. There isn't much more to show in this engine bay. It is what it is. We need to go and build that engine, is what I was going to say. So I'm going to get this fuse box all finished, show you it completed just very quickly, and then we'll go and build that beautiful V8 supercharged engine. I'll see you back here in a moment. Well, there it is so far. Looking pretty sweet. Inside the engine bay, it is very white in there, but now we do have a big old splash of pink on that fuse box on the board. Looking pretty good. Let's go and get that engine built. I have already started. I've done the block, the pistons, and the clutch setup, just so you guys can see it. There's a V8. We all know what V8s look like. 4 pistons either side, looking pretty good. Let's get the oil pan on. Now, the oil pan and the block are both in a matte black, just to give them that real mean finish. Looking pretty awesome. But let's get you rotated over, and let's start getting this back together. Power steering pump, haven't painted, left it in its chrome to match with the alternator on the other side. On you go there. Then we've got some cam gears on you, or some cam gear. The ignition distributor in the pink, looking fantastic. Really do like that one. And the chain on there. The timing cover is also in pink, just to get away from the blackness of the block there. Looking pretty sweet. Fuel filter, on you go, in your red. And the ignition coil I haven't got, apparently. How have I not got an ignition coil? I'm pretty confident I bought one of them, but I'll have to sort that out in a minute. On you go with the water pump. Couldn't be painted, sadly, so it just stays as it is. On with the pulleys. In you go. Have I got 2 of them? What is going on today? On with the belt there. That's the only belt we can do at the moment. So the rotor, obviously, it didn't paint it. Didn't need to. The cap is in the black there, looking pretty good. That is a gloss black. And then the clips are the white. So we do have a splash of white. Oh, my God. On this engine, looking pretty cool. I will come back and do that ignition coil. I definitely bought one. I don't know where it's gone. Anyway, engine heads are in pink, looking lovely, but they are only the insides that are pink. So it is a bit of a shame nothing on the outside of this one does show up pink, which is unfortunate, but there we go. So I'm going to grab all of the spark plugs in, all of the valve push rods in, and all of these rocker arms in. I'll get all of them done. And then we'll come back. I'll get that other head on. We'll get the exhaust manifold on. And this oil filter in pink. But it is black and pink. I really like how that one looks with the writing in pink. Mostly in the black and the pink rim. Looking awesome. On with the exhaust manifold. But I'll get the rest of that all finished. And then we'll come back and get the rest of this engine all buttered up with everything on. We'll crack on with the engine heads, the ignition coil, and a few bits like that. I'll see you in a moment. There we go then, the ignition coil now in. I hadn't bought one, obviously. I don't know what happened there, but I do have 2 of these apparently, so I must have bought 2 of them by accident. Anyway, let's crack on and get this back together. So on with the engine head covers. They are in black. I know, I'm just as shocked as you are. I'm very surprised I did these in black, but I think it's going to look awesome when we get the rest of this all back together. So let's just crack on with the other one. Also in the black there, let's get you all bolted up onto you nicely. The intake manifold, pink. Had to be pink. Look at that. That looks fantastic in there. Absolutely great. And all of these pinks pretty much match up. Some of them are ever so slightly different, but it is looking awesome. Supercharger on you go. Can't paint that one. Is in. It's just beautiful, beautiful chrome. Let's just quickly throw these remaining belts on while we are here. 1 and 2. And then we should have a big old fan as well. Nicely done. In the black. Just because I didn't want too much pink going on. We've got this undercover here in pink. That should be enough. And obviously that supercharger intake manifold is also in the pink as well. Let's get these carburetors on. Hopefully we can start tuning these in the near future when the drag racing DLC does come out. And that's what I'm looking forward to, this one. Getting this one on the drag track is going to be a lot of fun. On with them air filters and then on with that bright pink scoop on the top there. Looking absolutely insane. One last thing to go. The ignition wires in the pink. I think there is enough pink on this engine that it looks absolutely insane. I'm really pleased with this one. It should look great dropped in. I wish we could have done a little bit with some of these chrome parts. Like I always wish the outside of these could be painted. I don't know if I would have done them pink. Probably would have been pink blended in there. Would have been awesome. But the rest of that looks absolutely incredible. Very, very pleased. I need to grab some pictures and then we'll get it dropped in. But it is looking pretty sweet. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments below. That's all done. Looking absolutely fantastic. I love this pink and black engine. It looks absolutely insane with a tiny splash of white just on the clips just there. Looking great. But let's get you dropped into Delilah. Over we go. Let's get you in and see how good this looks. That's not what I wanted. What? It's because I put ignition coil in. That's why. What an idiot. There was my ignition coil. Now I should be able to drop the engine in. There we go. We finally figured out what happened. So now I've got a spare ignition coil for future use. Not that I probably keep it. Probably just going to sell it on off. But that is looking fantastic. Really, really do love that. You've got the pink blower sticking out. And a bit more than the pink blower sticks out. Some of the carburetor chrome just stick out as well. I think that's looking awesome. Higher up than it should be. But I really do think that looks absolutely fantastic. Very, very pleased with that. Let's get it up in the air. Let's get the gearbox in. Let's get the drive shaft in. And that starter in as well. And get this one on its way to being finished outside. Next up, I will get the wheels all done. And then we will get it outside in the sun. Hopefully looking fantastic. A matte black gearbox on there. Looking insane. And then the starter is in the pink, obviously. Just for some good measure there. Let's get this drive shaft in. Now, it is a bit low. As you can see, it is a bit low on there. That's just to keep it outside of the cockpit, the main bay. It's not too bad. It does fit really well. It fits onto everything. It's just a little bit lower to keep it outside. Looking great. And just to show you, my exhausts do connect up. It isn't perfect, but you have to play around with sizes when you're trying to do things like this to get it right. And it was hard to get that right. But it looks insane. Very pleased with this. I'm going to get the wheels done. And we'll be outside with this car all finished, ready to talk about it. So I'll see you in just a minute. Here we are then, all finished with Delilah, our Delray Custom, looking absolutely fantastic. I am very, very, very pleased with this one. I think it looks great, absolutely fantastic. That engine looks so good, just a black and pink, very subtle on the pink. Not really subtle like that, but mostly chrome and black that you can see showing off through there, looking great. And the suspension underneath in the black, pink and white. I think this one looks absolutely fantastic. One of my favourite builds so far, all the pink and white at the back there as well. It looks absolutely fantastic. Do you think this one is going to win this fortnight's competition? I'm not so sure. There are some good contenders in there, but let's move on. Let's talk about these rims. Now, these are the rims 1A. You've all seen them many a times before. One of my favourite rims on this one. Deep dish, two-tone. That's what I like. So we've gone for 15 inches at the front here. In fact, 15 inches all the way around, but black and pink in the front. So it's 15-inch rim, 205 width at the front here with a 35 profile. Obviously, the black stripe coming down to black in the middle with pink around it. Looking fantastic. Really like that. And the backs here, they are considerably bigger, but they are still a 15-inch rim. And they are black on white back here with the pink bit separating them in the middle. Looking cool. Again, 15 inches. They are 335 width at the back here with a 50 profile. Looking insane. They are massive. Really do love this ride car, whatever you want to call it. think this one looks absolutely great. And a few, obviously, little details. The exhaust poking out through the paint job cutouts I've made. Pretend cutouts, but they do a good job, and it looks insane. Very pleased with them. A few little details in the back. No junk in this trunk, as in nothing shining up through the floor there. And then at the front, underneath the hood, you've got my logo at the top there with some pink behind it and black trim. Looking fantastic. But let's jump in this one, check out the interior and see what she sounds like. Because I really love this interior, because you got the white on the out edges there. Then you've got the black dashboard and the black firewall along with that pink radio in the middle. Looks absolutely fantastic. Just the one seat, just because it's a drag build or a gasser build, whatever you want to call it. But let's see what this supercharger sounds like. Very, very meaty grumble right there on just on the tick over. Sounding pretty sweet. Let's give it some gas though. Very, very whiny engine. I like that. Sounding pretty good. Very whiny at the top end. That supercharger whine is beautiful. But let's get this one onto the dyno and see how much power she's got. Here we are then on the dyno with Delilah, the Delray Custom, the VM Gasser edition with its supercharged V8 2-carb overhead valve. 850 base horsepower. How much have we added to this one today? 816 horsepower gained, a gain of 96%. That is incredible, and pitting us up to almost the number of the beast, 1,666 horsepower from this beautiful Delray Custom. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup we've gone for today. Here she is, 2.4 ratio, quite a low one. 93 in first gear, up to 631 in seventh. I haven't bothered adding the extra gears because, well, I don't think I'm going to need them. I would love to get this one onto the speederboard today, and I am really, really going to try. 536 kilometers an hour is the speed we got to beat. So let's head over to the track and see if we can do it. Here we are then with Delilah, the gasser, on the speed track and her 1,666 horsepower supercharged V8 engine. Let's go. I've got my controller. Let's just see if we can do it. Not at any point do you ever want to give this car full power. It will just left or right swerve and kill you. So we're not going to give it full power. We're about half throttle at the moment with my controller. Coming up 350 kilometers an hour already. 536 is what we are aiming for. There's 430, 450. Can we get up over 500? There's 500, 536. 528, not quite onto the speederboard, but a very impressive speed nonetheless. Here she is then, the beautiful Delilah, all finished, looking absolutely fantastic. And 528 kilometers an hour didn't quite get us onto the speederboard, which is a shame, but one place out, technically two. It ended up in 12th place on the speederboard, although 10 and 11 both have exactly the same speed, so they're joint 10th. So this is technically 12th, but seriously it's kind of like 11th. So close to being on the speederboard. Such a shame we couldn't quite make it. Honestly, I tried a lot to get this car to go that fast, but it's so hard to control because there's so much power going to them rear wheels. I swear, if I'd have had it like 1,667, probably could have done it. It's because of the 666 just torturing me. Also, the number 13 on the side. Did I just make a bad luck drag racer? Is that what I built? Such a shame, but it is still awesome nonetheless. I absolutely love this car. Definitely aren't going to sell this one. We will 100% be keeping it. But let's talk some facts and figures about this one. Well, you saw at the beginning I bought the car for $39,962 and was $6,188 off of making profit. Oh, I'm trapped on a car, which was a bit of a shame, but we've since spent a further $49,051 upgrading, modifying, and getting this car and that engine to where it is right now. Looking insane. I think this one is absolutely beautiful. Our total spend is 89,013 credits. Lots of unlucky numbers showing up around this car today. Quite a lot of a spend, but we need to see if we are going to make or could make a profit, because we're definitely not selling Delilah. She's going in the garage. She's going to wait for in the parking, and she's going to wait for the drag racing DLC to come out. So let's see if we could have made a profit from Delilah today. Let's have a look. So it is the VM Gasser edition. 347,000 kilometers on there, almost up to 350,000 kilometers. All now 100% completed, and now that engine with its 1,666 horsepower engine, a 666 number of the beast. No wonder I couldn't get this car to drive like I wanted it to. Such a shame, but it is awesome. Absolutely insane. Let's see if we could have made a profit, though. 133,849. Definitely some profit in there. Let's take away our 89,013. Leaves us with a profit of 44,836 if we were to sell this car, but we are definitely not. I just want to point out there is another 13 in these numbers as well. So many unlucky numbers today. Maybe I shouldn't have given it the number 13. Maybe we should have changed it. But anyway, this has been awesome. I've really, really loved this car, but we are going to have to say goodbye to Delilah. She's going to stay out the front for a little while longer, though, at least until the next video. But let's head inside and see what I've got to work on next. We're going from big American muscle drag racing to European hot hatches with the Volkswagen Golf. This one looks incredible. This is the Volkswagen Golf 7 2019, the R version. I don't quite know what that means on this one. Not bad condition. I did get a good deal and a good price on it. I don't know if I got a good deal or good price, but it looks good. 398 horsepower out of that i4 double overhead camera 4x4 engine. No swaps. Not my favourite engine. That's why I've been putting this one off. I don't like the covers. They don't paint very well on this one. But anyway, moving on. How much did I pay for this? Oh, 49,349. That's quite a lot for a Golf. For 2019 Golf, that's quite a bit. But I'm still short of profit. I could only sell it for 47,135, leaving us 2,214 short of profit, which is a shame because this Golf is in a very good condition. I cannot wait to get stuck into this one on the next episode. It is looking awesome, though. But just before we go, do remember to come and join in us on Discord, especially take part in the competition. Vote for my Gasser if that's the one you want to win, or check out some of the other ones. Today's the last day to get an upload on, obviously by midnight tonight, Wednesday the 9th of August. This is the last day to get it uploaded up till midnight. If you haven't got it uploaded by then, sadly, you cannot take part, but you can still take part in voting for your favourite, because we have the voting go on another day, another 24 hours up until midnight on Thursday the 10th, where we will then find out who has won this beautiful, beautiful competition. Whose Delray Custom is the best. Personally, I think mine is absolutely incredible. A proper old school Gasser build, looking insane. I really do love this. This has been incredible. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to the Golf in the next episode. I hope you did enjoy this build and do like this car. Please go and vote for it if you do like it, or go and vote for someone else, because there are some cool cars on there. Nothing quite like this, though, because this is built by yours truly, the Virtual Mechanic. This is just me being a bit big-headed. It doesn't happen very often, but this one is insane. I love it. We are definitely keeping it, and it's going to live here at least until the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, do consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like, and leaving a comment. Let me know what you think of this beautiful build. Let me know what you think I should do with that Golf inside there for the next episode. Anyway, hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.